Good morning, everyone. I'm just waiting for this market to give me a setup so I can go long. I'm being very patient. I don't care what this market does today. I'm being very patient. If I don't get my setup, I'm not taking my trade. It's that simple. I can tell you, however, the market does want upside. Market does want upside. We were very choppy last night. I don't know what the news was that made us drop how we did, but yeah, it looks like the market wants upside. However, I'm going to wait for a clear setup. If I don't get a setup, I'm not taking a trade. It's just that simple. So what I don't like is last night the market was just all sideways, just very sideways, and then today they just made a sweep, and now they're trying to pop it back up. Again, we broke above the previous day high, so my bias is bullish for the session despite any pullback, so long as previous day low isn't broken. But do I have a clear setup to chase this long right now? No. Could it rip and run without me? Yes. Do I care? No. So if they break this above 67.34, we should see a squeeze to 67.49. They're squeezing it right now. Again, I don't have a clear setup, so trying to play longs up here is like you'd have to be scalping, if anything. There's no clear setup. Again, I do not care where this market is going right now or if it's trying to pop, because based on my system, I don't have anything that's telling me to safely enter longs without facing a big pullback. But this thing could still squeeze to 67.49. I'm just sitting on my hands right now. This is gonna be one of those nasty market days. I can already see it. It's gonna be it's like almost like a slow grind up. It's gonna be a slow grind up. I don't want to chase it though because I don't have a clear setup. I could chase this move right now from 34 all the way to 48. I just don't have a setup. So if I play long here, I'm probably gonna get stopped out a couple times. But longs are key because if you look on a daily time frame, we broke above the previous day high. So every time we break above a previous day high, I'm bullish for that session. So where we could technically go right now with this move is 67.91. So we could really push big time. We're at 67.40 already. So yeah, they're gonna slowly squeeze us up to 67.49. It's gonna be a nasty move up, in my opinion. This literally looks like a slow grind up, chat. It's gonna be boring. So if you're scalping this, you can scalp a hold above 67.34, take it to 67.49. But yeah, it just looks like a slow grind up, and this is not my type of environment to trade. So I could be missing out on this move up, but I just don't have a setup to tell me to long. I could scout this, but I just can't safely long it. So yeah, I mean, they're already making the move to 67.49. So it's actually crazy that they're fucking pumping it like this and they're not giving me a setup. Because I swear if I go long, I'm gonna get stopped out and I'm gonna be upset. So I'm not gonna chase. I'm gonna be disciplined. Although this has given me a lot of FOMO. I'm gonna be just disciplined and just chill. Yeah, I might call it a day early. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is already pissing me off. Not gonna lie. This is low key pissing me off that they're just slowly pushing it. I'm not getting no type of entries, and I already know if I try and go long, I'm gonna get stopped out like right off the bat. So I'm gonna give this a little bit more to pull back. If not, I'm literally gonna have to call this live short because I don't have a setup. My normal setups are 30-minute stochastic RSI, 1 hour stochastic RSI in the buyer zone or in the zero zone, and I'm getting this is for me to long. I'm getting a 30-minute 2 up trigger. If I just look at what happened with price action today, right out the gate, I mean, yes, it did pull back. The 30-minute, however, wasn't in my buyer zone, but it did pull back. I didn't get no 30-minute 2 up. There was a 3 bar, a 1 bar, and then there was a late 30-minute 2 up, but that relative to like where I was gonna place a stop, excuse me, was not worth it one bit. It was not worth it one bit. So yeah, like I'm pretty much close to just sitting on my hands for the rest of the day. So now the next move that ES is gonna make, without me, let me add, if it holds above 67.49, it's gonna go to 67.64. Again, I am bullish. My session is bullish for the day, or my bias. Sorry. So I'm not surprised that they're pumping this. My only thing is wait. 1 hour stochastic R size getting into the buyer zone for NQ. No. Oh, wow. Wow. And wow. Okay, so we have divergence. Okay. Okay. Now that right there is annoying, Chad. I didn't even see that. I honestly didn't see that. Wow, no fucking wonder. We had cleaner price action on NQ as well. Wow, okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense. It's just the fact that they are really still pushing this up based on NQ. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, okay. Again, y'all, if this is a scalper's market, so if you can take your scalps off from levels to levels, by all means. I just can't believe I'm sitting this out and I'm not in a trade right now, but I know why. Not only does NQ look super different from ES right now as far as the divergence go on the stochastic RSI, I don't have a setup to long, and I'm going to keep saying that. I don't have a setup to long. I could take these two ups. Yes, I could take the two ups, but they're just in such a risky spot, at least on ES, to where like this could pull back if it wants to. I don't know if it wants to, but it can, and I don't want to take that chance. So knowing me, I like clearer setups, and this is not one of them. But yeah, if I was a DGen and if I was just chasing this, like if I was just YOLOing an account, I would definitely just fucking be scalping these moves. From levels to levels, as far as those green opening ranges, I would just be scalping moves. But I'm trying to play it smart, so can't catch them all. If they run it up to 64, I'm gonna call it a day, chat. This can go a lot higher. I just want you all to know. Again, so again, if you look at the daily time frame, when did this break happen? We'll see when the break happened, and we'll be able to understand what to do. But I have a whole guide that I'm making about this. Anyways, the break was 67.32. Let's go on a 5-minute and look at 67.32. So boom, this was the high that we had to break, right? We didn't break it last night, but they broke it today. It was at around 7 o'clock. So what I tell people is the best way to gauge the market sentiment for the day to know if it's bullish or bearish is always look at the daily time frame, previous day highs or lows. If the previous day high breaks, you look, your thesis is long and you're trying to play long on any dips to now take it higher. If it breaks previous day low, your thesis is short and you're waiting for a pop back to an upside or a retracement in order to take your move down. So in this case, yes, we broke above 67.32. They spiked it above it actually, and then they pulled it back. So this pullback technically, even though ES didn't give the setup, NQ probably did give it, was your area to look for longs to play the move back up, because that initial push above 67.32 was the break above previous day high. And anytime I see that happen, I just wait for a pullback, and as long as that pullback can hold and not, you know, go further down to previous day low, then you just go long and play the retracement back to previous day high and the potential breakout above it. So that's what this is doing and what it did. So now my target based on the daily time frame for this move is technically this previous day's wick here. So 67.90 would be the ideal target for this whole move. Are they going to do that today? I don't know. Could they? Yes, but that's the technical move. So if this thing were to have opened and sold off and broke under previous day low, I wouldn't be playing any longs, right? I would be looking to short to the next wick low on a daily. So if it broke under 66.25, which is a long way down, but if it did that, I would be short up until 65.25. So yeah, they're gonna continue to send this thing higher. The bias for the session is bullish. So that is a little tip that you all can walk away with and use to your advantage. Just always look at that daily time frame. And I use it on everything else, not just ES, but if you go look at Meta right now, I mean, it gapped up, but technically a good example would be, what was this, a Monday? So Monday, the previous candle broke above the previous day high, or Friday's previous day high. So the technical target, the break was at 598. The technical target for that move would have been 606, and as you can see, it did complete that move on that Monday, but it went higher than that, right? So that day, that session was bullish. If we look at today for Meta, at least it broke above this previous day high here at 616. So my technical target on this would have been this candle's wick high here at 628, and I think it's at 628 right now. So that move is currently being done. And let's just say Meta doesn't move anymore from 628. Well, the new daily candle, if it opens, breaks above 628, my next target will be 635 all the way up to 642. So if you looking at the daily time frame and starting your top down analysis from there will really help you gauge the sentiment for the market, and you will at least have a bias to know which side you want to be playing. So my bias today was long. I was long bias today. However, I didn't get a clean setup to go long. And I want to give everyone, you know, safe entries and not degen entries. So yeah. You said hanging man on a 5 for what, ES or NQ? Because I know there's some divergence right now with ES and NQ. So oh, you was talking about that 910 candle? Yeah, so I don't know too much about all those technical candlestick setups and all that, you know, like the gravestone dojis and everything. The best way I go about this, bro, like I see this 910 candle, but the way I would have interpreted that 910 candle, and this is just me personally, is I would have seen this as buyers are taking control. Why? Because, well, how can I pull this up? How can I pull this up? Here, I'm gonna just post it in the chat. You'll be able to see it in the main chat, but I'll see if I can pull it up on the stream in a sec. But give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let me find it. Let me find it. Okay, so you see these two photos right here. Um, if you look at the bullish side as far as the green candles, you'll start to see what I'm about to say, right? And you see why I said buyers are taking control. So the previous candles, all right, this let's just start from the 850 candle, right? This 850 candle, this looks like buyers have full control. This looks like buyers are taking control because sellers stepped in. Buyers took full control. Buyers took full control. This 910 candle, yes, I don't, again, I guess I might sound dumb, but I don't really know how to identify evening stars or morning stars, but this just looks like buyers are taking control. Same thing with this candle, 915 candle, and now this 920 candle currently is buyers have all control, which makes sense as to why we're seeing a violent move up like this to 64. But that's how I'm interpreting it, if that makes sense. So I just look at it like that, like who's in control? Are buyers in control, or are sellers in control? Now let's say this green candle, right, closes in a doji, or just shy of a doji, I guess you can call it a gravestone. Then that'll let me know that buyers are losing control, and then sellers can potentially pick up control with the next candle that opens. And we know that because let's say the next candle opens and then it breaks the previous candles wick low. Well, we know that to be a 2 down, right? So we know sellers could step in doing that. So that's how I like to interpret looking at the candles and reading the candles, as far as just who has control based on the setup of the candle. Is it buyers in control or sellers in control? So me knowing this, as far as the 910 candle being that buyers are taking control, I could assume or anticipate, okay, let's just say this candle had 30 seconds to close out when I spotted it. The next candle that opens needs to break above the previous candle wick high to put in a 2 up, and that'll let me know that, okay, buyers for sure want to control on that candle. If the new candle opened and broke under that wick low and put in a 2 down, that would have told me that, okay, those buyers were for sure weak. And I think your your evening star, or your hanging man would have played out. Sorry, yeah, I don't know all those technical what you call it, but the numbers is called the strat. So if you're on TradingView, you're gonna just search candle type the strat. It'll be in parentheses. But yeah, so right now these are all putting in 2 ups. So I think that hanging man would have been valid had it put in like a 2 down on the following candle that opened. But yeah, this candle, as you can see, buyers are taking full control on this current candle right now. So, and we just hit 67, 64. Big sigh, big sigh, big sigh, big sigh. I mean, I hope you guys were able to catch this move. I already know that I can catch a setup anytime in the market, so I don't really care if I missed out on a move. But yeah, this is a scalper's market right now. This is literally a scalper's market. They're taking it from green level to green level, from opening range to opening range. So they held it above 34, they took it to 49. They held it above 49, and now they squeeze it up another almost 20 points or so to 64. So now if they hold it above 64, we already know what the ultimate target would be, and that's all the way up to 67.91. So again, the day is bullish. We're not really looking to be shorting anything, but rather looking to be longing on nice plentiful size dips. But ES at least didn't give me a dip to long. If I was, however, looking at NQ here, NQ would have given me that dip to play. At least on a 30-minute, it would have given me the dip to play at around 7:30, and on a 1 hour, it would have given me the dip to play at around 8 o'clock. But the stop losses would have been wide on both of those setups. So Tori, I hope that candlestick chart helped. If you look at NQ right now, pull up that candlestick chart, you'll see that buyers have full control with that current candle. Right, so that's how I go about just identifying who's in control and who is not. And obviously with the break above previous day high, I would assume or anticipate buyers to take full control. So that's what we're seeing. Yep, this is a nice move up, but I'm gonna probably call the live low key early. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm probably gonna call it early because I mean, why chase? Yeah, like all my full target as far as like the full order opening range is hit. So like yeah, like 67.91 for sure is in the cards, but do we chase? I don't think so. I don't think that would be the smart move to make. I don't think it would. Chat, you're gonna hate me. I'm probably gonna call it a day early. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm most likely gonna be calling it early here. Only because everything is already extended. So now it's just like, okay, 679. They can do it another 30 points, but based on a daily time frame, it's like, okay, how much more do you want for today? Yes, we still have a lot of time in the market, but maybe we get a nice size dip this time to go for re-entries and then run the bitch back up. But apart from that, I mean, we're already about to hit daily's magnitude, which sits at 6790, 6791. So you want to chase that, have fun chasing it. But I'll tell you this much: if we break under 67.64, it's going to ping pong itself right back down to 67.49. If 67.49 holds, okay, if 67.49 holds on a pullback, I'm just assuming it pulls back to this level. If it holds, it's going to ping pong right back up to 64. If it pulls back down to 67.49 and doesn't hold, it's going to go down to 67.34. If it goes to 67.34 and holds, it's right back up to 49. Now, let's go right back to its current level. If it's at 67.64 and this thing can continue to hold on any type of pullback and it just goes right back up and just holds, you can then be on the lookout for 67.90 to be in play. But until then, I wouldn't chase anything else. Like, buddy, you're chilling. You got the rest of next week. The market's not going nowhere. Look at the daily time frame. Look at the daily stochastic RSI. Fuck the daily. Let's go look at the weekly setup, okay? The weekly setup shows us that we have more upside. Look at the weekly stochastic RSI. Weekly setup says we have more upside. And just looking at this candle on a weekly, it's an inside day candle. We only get real movement if we break under 65.22, which is a long way down. I don't think they'll do it. Or if we break above 6802, which is just right around the corner. I think that has more room to play out. Let's just say 6802 breaks out. New target will be up here at 6898. Call it 6900. Weekly time frame is posing for a move to the upside. I'm open to being wrong, but seeing the weekly time frame stochastic RSI in the 100 zone or in the 0 zone every single time, I don't care what nobody says, I don't care how the market looks, they save it. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how the market looks. Anytime the weekly stochastic RSI gets into the 0 zone, they save the market. Okay? They will save the market at whatever spot it is in. And it makes sense as to why we could potentially rally end of year. It's just in the seasonality chart. However, let's just look at previous price action history on a weekly and just look at what happened every time it got into that 0 zone. Okay, just random. July 2024, weekly stochastic RSI was in that 0 zone. If we're not counting any of this previous price action or the price action following it, it looks like this was breaking down pretty nasty, right? But it was wedging up in a falling wedge setup based on the chart pattern. And what did they do? They saved the market. Boom, they popped it. Yes, they pulled it back down again following in 2025 in March. But what did they do? They saved it again. Let's go look here. 2023, October, they pulled it back. Weekly stochastic RSI was in that 0 zone. What did they do? They saved it again. Rallied that bitch. Rallied the fuck out of that bitch. So, what am I seeing here? What am I seeing here? The same thing I'm seeing on everything else. Well, on the pullback, this is a falling wedge setup. I can literally identify it right now. Give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec. This is a literal falling wedge. A literal falling wedge setup. Like, I can't make this up. It's a weekly wedge right there, boom. So With that being the case and me seeing that, okay, well, what am I looking at now? Well, stochastic RSI is near that zero zone like it's always has been. The market looked like it was damn near in shambles as far as pulling back, like all hell's about to break loose. They're going to save it. A save is coming. I don't care what nobody says. A save is coming. That's why I'm very bullish into the end of the year. I'm very bullish into next year. They're going to save the fuck out of this. So yeah, I'm not really interested in shorting anything right now, and the daily time frame is telling me not to short anything, because now that I'm seeing that on a weekly, I go down to the daily, which I was just telling you all about, and I look at each candle as the day goes by. New daily candle opens. What is it doing? Is it breaking above previous day high? If so, okay, it's holding up to my weekly bullish outlook. I remain bullish for that session on any pullback as well, so long as that previous day high reclaims and previous day low doesn't break. Okay, new day is opening. What is it doing? Is it breaking under previous day low? If it is, all right, it's just for that day. I can be bearish for that day, but as long as the overall setup holds on a weekly, I'm chilling, right? But I just take it day by day when you flip to the daily time frame, all right? And then the hourly and the 30-minute is just getting your entries. So ES didn't give me an entry today. Sadly, it is what it is. It's whatever. They were chopping this up all last night, so I'm not even tripping about it. However, it did break above the previous day high, so the session, or the bias for today's session was bullish, and we're seeing that right now. And now, again, if you couple in the candlestick patterns, you can be able to see or get much more of a helping hand for that guidance. Okay, this candle shows buyers have control. Okay, this candle shows buyers are taking control. That'll allow you to stay in your positions and, you know, continue to play that upside move, right? Gold, I know gold real quick right off the bat. Gold gave me a setup as far as going long on a 30-minute, and it was very clean. The same thing on an hourly. So what I like to see is a 30-minute and 1 hour stochastic RSI in that zero zone, just like I was showing on a weekly. And for the 30-minute, I need a 2 up trigger or a 3 up trigger, either or, doesn't matter. But after that trigger, you're going long, right? So your trigger would have been here at 129. You would have had stops at 117. And yeah, that would have been a nice move, at least for gold, to run it right back up to the highs here, which is what it's doing, and then just play whatever new all-time high is coming in. But again, you can couple that move, this 2-up trigger, you can literally couple it with, if you look at the candlestick patterns, this shows buyers have full control. So what am I anticipating? Okay, let's just say this candle closes out, and it closed out the way it did. I'm anticipating the next candle to open up and continue to push up. Well, this next candle opened up. Did it push up? No, it was a consolidation candle. So I'm still going to stay in my position if I were to long gold, only because it didn't trigger my stop. However, now I'm still anticipating, okay, I still need to see buyers step in, or this can fuck up my position. New candle open, and what did it do? It pushed up. Not only did it trigger a 2 up, but it popped, right? So if I'm going back to my candlestick chart and I'm looking at this, this shows me that buyers have full control, and that should tell you to stay in your position. Also, with the new candle that opened, yes, a 2 up triggered. That alone should tell you to stay in your longs. And then also, if you look at the candlestick patterns, this shows that buyers have full control again, right? So I use a lot of confirmations to let me know what to do as far as going long or short. And look at ES, it's just making this move. But again, it's only making this move because NQ is still making its upside move based on hourly. NQ is really where the move is at today as far as the clean setup. ES didn't have that clean setup. So NQ still has more upside as far as 25,077 as far as its sessions target. If it can hit that, we should see a little bit more of a squeeze there on ES, but we already know ES is bound for that 67.71. So yeah, I hope that was a little bit of alpha that people were able to walk away with. This is why I'm not really tripping about whatever happens in a session or if I miss a move or not, because all I got to do is just wait for the next day to open, and I can just reevaluate from there, right? Figure out, is that day's bullish? Is it bearish? If so, I just play accordingly. And I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but a good amount of the time, like let's say I miss a move, or let's say I take like a small loss. If I just sit it out and wait for the next setup to come, I normally make back everything I lost plus more, or just make like a big bag. So that's why I'm not really tripping as far as like not being able to capture this move. I know the degen side of me would have been playing it for sure, without a doubt. But the safe side of me is like, nah, just chill out, just chill. So I'm gonna chill. The morning start the 1 minute 9 EMA. Let me go check that hoe out real quick. So what's a morning star? If you could explain real quick, Tori. Like, well, what am I looking at? So, is it this 929 candle? I'm just trying to be versed on like all this stuff.
You see like the pitchfork,
Yeah.
three candle. So it's like a 222 pitchfork off that level. So
Boom, boom, boom.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So once that's the third one right there. So normally the how I play it is so the hammer can be either inverted or just like that. And especially when the third candle is breaks the first candle, then it's usually like a bullish or reverse evening star. If the third candle
Breaks.
engulfs the
Right.
first candle, then it's bearish. Yeah, so that's the first one. And then the hammer can be inverted or it can be a regular hammer. And then a third candle is usually like the tail sign. Okay,
Okay.
this is bullish, this is bearish.
Okay.
So evening star is bearish and morning star is bullish. But
So
it's more how do I put it? It's more it follows through more if it's off the zones. So it played off perfectly off that zone. So I was just like, okay, third candle is bullish. It engulfs everything. Take that trigger.
okay, that makes sense. Wow. That makes a lot of sense. And then if you look at the stochastic RSI on that 1 minute too, it's in technically my buyer zone too, so that would have been a nice little scalp to take off too. Okay. So pretty much the way you're looking at the morning stars, evening stars, and all that, you're piecing together combos from the strat, right? Or not the strat, but you're. It seems like you're piecing together combos because this is a 2-2 reversal play.
Yeah, it's definitely combos. It's definitely more effective if, those triggers are off of zones, so it's more likely to follow through. And especially if that third candle engulfs the first one, then it's looking good.
Okay, so then my last question would be the. I think you said the hanging man on the 5. So what exactly were you looking for that one?
Oh, so I trade candle by candle method. So
Right.
usually hanging man, if it's at the top of a zone or whatever, most of the time it's
Okay.
pushing down at least 5 to 10 points.
Okay, and so I'm assuming the reason why this one didn't have that follow through is because clearly, as we're looking at it, it was just in between zones, right? So if this was
Yeah,
happening at like
exactly.
the
Yeah.
top of 67, 64, it would have had like a little bit of a higher chance as far as a follow through to the downside because it was at a zone. All right,
No, 100%. I'm still working on, trading candle by candle is
right,
most effective if if it's combined with zones. If you're just playing candle by candle, it's basically 50-50.
yeah,
But off the zones is much more effective.
for sure. You use TradingView or do you use TOS?
Trading view.
For sure. I think if you don't, these opening ranges might help you then, if anything. But you probably get your own zones. But yeah, that's
Oh no, I'm
crazy.
fucking with yours too. They're definitely helping out.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. No, that's fire. Yeah, that made a lot of sense, especially that hanging man. That made a lot of sense. I mean, that one made a lot of sense, especially now that I know that you play it off zones. Okay.
Jay, is that an indicator you got for those green lines, those opening zones?
Yes, sir. I have it pinned in the features channel. So if you look at the features channel and click the pin button, you'll be able to get the link.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And the zones pretty much work exactly like support and resistance. So if you have a system, you just incorporate it into your system and it'll make everything a lot stronger, right? So if we hold above a green zone, well, I have it green, but you can change it to whatever color you want. But if we hold above a zone, we should test the next one to the upside. If we hold below a zone, we should test the next one to the downside, so on and so forth. So we held above 34, so the next push was to 49 and so on and so forth. But if you also couple that with the strat, couple that with everything else, you would have been able to accurately capture that. But yeah, That's why I don't really care if I miss out on this move, because all I got to do is wait for a new session to open and play those zones, right? So, and when we go into the overnight sessions, I still use the same zones. So you're going to have these zones. These are still going to stay here. These levels, they're still going to stay here even when we close out. So when an overnight session happens, you're not going to get any new levels to appear. So you're just going to be running off of the previous session levels. And that's what I was doing last night, which is why I had stops where I had I was playing off of the previous zones, as you can see, but they eventually bounced it down, or they pulled it down to the 6676 zone. And you would have been able to see that because I guess at open or near open around 640 6707 failed. So if I was just using the previous zone and not, the opening ranges that we had today, I could have seen that, okay, we had 6691 on deck. If there was no bounce there, then we had 6676 on deck, right? And it lined up with these zones a little bit here. So I always use the previous session's levels to adhere with whatever I'm looking at now. So I don't have any current levels to work with now, right, with our current session. So what I do is I look at the previous session. Do I have any zones or levels up there to adhere to as far as any more of an upside push? And I actually do. So if I'm looking at this right now, yes, we are above 67.64. A big move up. We're at 67.70. So looking at the previous sessions, I have an opening range at 67, 68, 65, and 62. If we can hold above all of that, we should continue to push up, because let's just say we were going into that trading session, or we were winding back into that trading session. A hold above that opening range high would give a move to the next zone on that session's upside, and more follow through if it holds. So if we hold above 68, technically my next target is at 83, and if that 83 holds, your next target is at 98. So the daily time frame still shows that we have a push to go to hit 67.90. So if we do hold above if we do hold above the 68, I have a high chance that we can for sure go to 83 and then probably have a little bit of slippage to 90. But will I want to chase the remaining of that move? Not really. I think the more confident way for me to chase it is getting us set up at a level, not in between a level, but at a level. So if it can pull right back down to 64 and hold, and then give us like more of a consolidation and then another trigger, say on a 5 minute, okay, you could take it. But let's say it doesn't hold and pulls back lower to 49 and then it holds, then you can take it right back up to 64 and then, have fun with it. But that's how I play the levels, at least. And yeah, I mean, it looks crazy too. I mean, from 35 all the way up to 49, but they did it. They did it. And that 35 break, I think 32 to 35, just call it that range, was a break above the previous day high. So we already knew that a break above that kept everything in bullish territories. And now with that previous day high, previous day low method, you can kind of see if we're just veering off here from the indexes and looking at individual names. You can kind of see why I'm holding my meta based on a daily and weekly outlook. You can get a better gist of why I'm holding it still. And I sold this one a little bit too early, but let's just go right back to it. If you look at this on a daily time frame, you'll see the exact same setups, right? So broke above previous day high, boom. This one just gapped up, but yeah, if you look at the weekly time frame, I think the weekly was showing more upside. Yeah, the weekly had more upside. So if you look at the weekly, you not only did you have two ups, but this was buyers taking control. Buyers are in full control with this candle here. So I always look at that every single time. Every single time. This works on SPY too. It works on the Qs. If you look at SPY, go look at SPY daily. SPY's daily, yeah, broke above previous day high. So SPY's technical target, which is already trying to hit, is at 675.55. SPY's at 674 right now. So it has $1 left to hit daily target. And if you look at the 1 hour SPY, 1 hour pose room for upside. Look at the stochastic RSI, it was in a buyer zone. And yeah, and I think it's the same with the Qs. The only divergence, I guess, was just on the ES. So if you look at the Qs actually are saying more upside, which is fucking crazy. It's not crazy, but it's just like fuck. Like, how come ES couldn't fucking set up and everything just go in lockstep, right? But the Qs do show more upside on the 1 hour for the QQQ, and I believe same thing with MNQ shows more upside on the 1 hour based on the stochastic RSI. So if you left ES alone and just focused on the Qs, you could probably still catch more of a move to the upside. And look at NQ zones; they're all following, which is just crazy. But yeah, people on the Discord, before I wrap the live up, are there any questions, at least regarding the levels, regarding my system, or anything? Because I'm gonna wrap this up and then I'm gonna go work on the guide because I need to finish that up so I can get it out. But the guide pretty much literally will go over everything like a step by step. Like, okay, this is what you need to look out for. This is what needs to set up. This is what needs to happen. This is your targets. This is how you scout, so on and so forth. I will say this too. I will say this. If I wasn't running a Discord and if I was just doing this on my own, oh my God, I would probably be placing around a couple of hundred trades a day, just taking scalps off, taking it from zone to zone, things of that nature, with ease too. But since I want to get everybody in, clean fucking setups, I can't take those plays. I gotta wait for, like, I don't want to say the best setup, but like I gotta wait for the best opportunity, right? And that's why I keep things safe. But if this was just me, just doing my own thing, nigga, what? I am hitting every single, like this little dip, I'm hitting that. How am I hitting it? Well, okay, I see a 2 down. I'm gonna take the 2 down, take it to 64. I'm gonna take it to that level. If it doesn't hold, I'm gonna take it lower. But if it holds, I'm out. And I'll take the scout right back up. Just that simple. But yeah, no, Mo, are you in here? No, Mo's not in here. But the fake outs, I'm not surprised that he kept faking them out. If you look at last night was a complete fake out. I think I tried longs, 3 times last night and was faked out all 3 times just for them to eventually sweep it, but then run the shit up. So not every day is not going to be like that, but expect shit like that in the market, right? Yes, the indicator is only good for trading view. It's because they coded it to trading view. So I know you're on top step. However, if you I think trading view even has a Black Friday sale, so you can get their premium plan for like, I think $200, which is a fucking steal. And all you got to do is just get it and then I think cancel it. No, don't. Yeah, no, wait. I think, yeah, if you cancel it, I could be wrong. I think they'll cancel it on your next billing session. So if you buy the yearly plan, you got it for a year, I believe. But anyways, they coded it as a trading view, so you'd have to get the premium plan, not the essential, but the premium, and you'll be able to get the levels. Like, I also thought about it too. Like, I was like, you know what? Like, I want to try and code it, like make my own and try and code it myself so I can have it up on TOS and all that stuff, just so like people don't have to like pay. But it is not easy. It is not easy. So yeah, today was very sloppy as far as the move to the upside. Regardless of it pushing up, it was a sloppy move up. I will literally say it was a very, very sloppy move to the upside because there was no clean setup to really take this thing higher. Apart from NQ, obviously, but so now look at that. So see how it's now holding 64? I will go long off that, and what I'm using again, like I just said, I'd be using that previous session, the previous session's range, right? So I'd be going long, and I'd like be targeting 68 to like 70, yada yada yada. So if I went long at 64, I would have had tight stops at like 62 or like a little bit under it to account for some slippage. So I would probably put it at 60. Again, I would be hitting this shit back to back to back, but I can't do that with me running a Discord. I just can't. Just can't. But that's not to say you guys can't, right? That's why I'm giving you guys a system, so you'll be able to use the system and use it at your own pace, at your own will, whenever you see your own setups. Because there can be times where I may not be early to the charts, and there'll be a setup, and yeah, you guys could be able to catch it, and I'll be there trying to chase it. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the live up. And I'll be, what's today? I'll be live tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully we get a much cleaner setup. As of right now, nothing too eventful today. Just a regular day, I guess. But yeah, they'll probably take this to 6790, maybe 6800. And yeah, we still will have more upside from there. So I'm not bearish one bit, unless new candle opens and breaks on the previous day low, which I doubt is going to happen, just being how, unless they sell this off, this daily candle is very bullish, so I assume if it closes out bullish, the new candle is going to open, and it'll be just shy from its previous day high. So all I would need is for that to break previous day high, give me a pullback, I go long on a pullback, and I play more upside. So yeah, thank you all for showing up. I'm going to wrap up the live. And I'm going to go work on my guide.